Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Kawakami, and today we're going to talk kombucha. So, kombucha is very popular right now. It's a health drink. I know a lot of people, go to the store and buy it, but it's really expensive. And I got on this kick where I was drinking kombucha like every day, and $4 here, $5 there, it just adds up. So I decided I'm gonna make my own kombucha. I make my own bread, I make all my own food. Why can't I make my own kombucha? So it's way easier than you think it would be. So this right here, this is the finished product. I know it looks a little scary. Don't be afraid. But this is our kombucha right here, and on top is the SCOBY, symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. And it's basically like a mother in vinegar. It's actually going to help convert the tea into kombucha. So it takes all that delicious sugar we're going to add to the tea and converts that to a tiny bit of alcohol, but also tangy, delicious goodness. And if you let it go too long, you have vinegar. The ratio you want is first you're going to have 1 quart of water, and you're going to make your tea in that, and that's 8 tea bags with a quart of water, a cup of sugar, a nice clean vessel for your new kombucha, and 2 quarts of water, so a total of 3 quarts in a gallon jar, and then some kombucha from your first batch. So I'm going to take a cup of this. Every time you make kombucha, you add a new cup of the old kombucha to the new stuff. So let me show you. So we'll just start with the tea. Now I just have regular Lipton tea bags. And you can use any other kind of tea you want. You can use green tea, but you need a strong black tea. So if you're going to use green tea or any other mixes of tea, you should always have at least half black tea, because it needs that to live. And this has been brewing for a little bit, maybe like 10 minutes. You don't have to be too strong. Sometimes I'm impatient and the tea is really hot, and if I introduce hot tea with the SCOBY, it could kill it. Because it's basically living yeast, and yeast dies at 132 degrees. Now, this is the last time I'm going to use a metal utensil inside this, because metal doesn't react well with kombucha. Because kombucha itself is very acidic, it's not going to react well with metal. So, alright, so now we have our sweetened tea, and we're just going to dilute it. Alright, so this is now sweet tea. So anyone in the South knows sweet tea. You have a gallon of sweet tea, and what you do, now with very clean hands, make sure you wash your hands, sometimes I use rubber gloves, we're going to take out this SCOBY and add it into here. And I know it looks a little weird and a little gross, but it's very harmless. And I brew a lot of kombucha, so there's a lot of SCOBYs in here, and every time you make a batch of kombucha, you're going to make a few new SCOBYs. Alright, so we're going to talk about this for a second, because it's freaking my photographer out. So this is the SCOBY. It has kind of a rubbery texture. This smells very vinegary, by the way, and that's why a lot of people don't like kombucha, actually, because it can be very harsh at first and very acidic. And so what we're doing is we're taking this done kombucha, we're adding just a little cup of it to this kombucha, and now this is going to brew for about a week. So, and when this sits here, you're going to see little specks of stuff start to float on top, and it looks like mold, but it's not. And it's going to start forming like this little layer, and the longer it sits, the layer gets thicker and thicker. That is a SCOBY. Every time you make kombucha, you're making a new SCOBY. It's going to grow on top, and it's going to protect it. Alright, so this is ready to go. It's going to ferment for about a week, and I like to cover it with a little cloth. And I just use some hair ties from the store, super cheap. And this way, you're going to keep any bugs from getting in here. So if you have fruit flies or whatever, they can't penetrate this cloth, and this can actually, it needs to breathe, and you're going to see it'll start like bubbling up around here, and it's going to create a little carbonation. Like this one, move this aside, this is ready to go. You can totally drink this as is, but like I said, some people find it a little acidic and harsh, and so what I do is I do a second fermentation. Now, a lot of people skip the second fermentation, and you don't understand why it's not delicious and wonderful. So I chop up ginger, because ginger helps you get the carbonation, and fresh berries, and this one is ginger strawberry, and I was making tons of little tiny bottles, and it became a process, and it kind of was a pain in my butt. So I started doing large batches, and now I save like the big bottles of, like after I drink a big bottle of vodka, or tequila, or rum, or any alcohol that has a screw top, I will save that bottle, and what I'll do, like this one right here, is this I used half regular Lipton tea and then half chai. So it has a very cinnamon, wonderful flavor to it. And then the second fermentation, I added ginger and dates, and it was just this kombucha, ginger and dates, and then I put it in this container, I put a lid on and I leave it on the counter for 3 days. 3 days is the max. After that, it starts getting very bitter again and very sour. So after 3 days, I put it in the fridge and I let it chill. And you can see this one is almost gone because my friends and I have been drinking it all the time. And one of my favorite things to do is make a kombucha cocktail. Okay, so this has been in the refrigerator and it's nice and cold. It's actually a month old, but it's fine because it's in the refrigerator. But since I've left it out at room temperature for a little bit, it's very, very active again. So I'm gonna... There we go. And I know this looks really gross, but literally this is just the pulp of the strawberries coming out. And my photographer Angel is actually going to drink some of this, even though I know she's terrified. It's totally fine, it's healthy, it's wonderful. It's full of probiotics. So now all you want to do is strain out the strawberries and the ginger. And now you just have a nice clear soda. It's a wonderful, it's delicious, it smells like strawberries, a slight hint of vinegar, but nothing too off-putting.